Hi, anybody. We got a season summary here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We are at the All-Star break slash bye week in the season here for them. Every team gets a week off throughout the season, and the Leafs just seem to line up right with the All-Star break. So, not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It could be a little bit of extra rest and guys come back refreshed, or maybe it's one of those things where they come back sluggish because they've been off for too long. So we'll see. At least Holmberg got sent down to the minors and had to continue playing, right? But the Leafs season overall right now is pretty spectacular. Honestly, they're fourth in the league. They're 31, 13, and 8 right now. So you can't really complain as a Leafs fan. And at the same time, we're just coming off of a pretty excruciating loss to Boston right before the All-Star break there, which really puts you in your place as a Leafs fan. So um, the Leafs have been really good. The Boston Bruins have been really great. So hopefully the Leafs can turn the goodness into greatness moving forward here after the break and just really plow through the end of this season. I know with 30 games or so left, it feels like it's, kind of a stale point in the season, at least because we pretty much know it's going to be Lightning Leafs first round anyways. So when you really look back at it, do any of these games even matter? Obviously, they need to be played and some need to be won and lost, but it looks like the standings are pretty much locked in where they're going to be. So we'll see if we get another first round visit with the Tampa Bay Lightning and go from there. But overall, like the core four, they're having a great year. William Nylander, 28 goals, 31 assists for 59 points. Like that's a career year for him so far. I'm pretty sure. And then Matthews, even though he's injured right now, 25 goals still. He has 28 assists for 53 points, so that's still pretty good. And his two-way game is definitely better than last year's. Yeah, he got the Rocket last year, but this year he's really making solid defensive plays in his own zone. So that's a good thing. I'll take. Yeah, you want him to get all the goals, but you definitely take some good defensive plays if it means a couple less goals throughout the season. And then Tavares, he's got 21 goals and he's got 30 assists for 51 points. And then Marner had his little streak going there for a bit. 19 goals, 41 assists for 60 points. He is the points leader on the team right now. And he's, those four guys are what's keeping them in it right now. Like, if you break up the top six with the bottom six, the top six is definitely performing to, expectations. And, some guys are performing above it, some guys might be performing slightly below it, but overall, the first two lines are doing really well. Yarncroke slotted into that second left wing, and he's been pretty good there. He's been scoring some goals, which is nice. And then Bunting up on the first line there. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere unless we get a big trade coming our way for a top line player. Bottom six, though. Bottom six is meh. You get flashes of Engvall where he looks like a monster and can just skate up the entire length of the ice and go and score a goal. And then you get Engvall where he's in his own zone and doesn't know what's going on, gets stripped of the puck, and it goes the other way and a goal goes in. So the bottom six has some holes in it. Kampf has been really solid down the middle, and Holmberg has also been pretty solid down the middle. But the bottom six just seems to be a little bit interchangeable. I do believe that Kerfoot will probably not be on this team after March 3rd of this year. Just the salary there down in the bottom six doesn't add up. We're going to have to lose that salary to gain, a bigger, better player up front in the top six, and I think maybe push either Bunting or Yarncrook down into the bottom six, which should help it. McMahon has been a nice addition. He seems nice and big and physical, but he hunts down pucks. Like, he's all over the puck when he's in the lineup. And I think he's only not in there due to waivers and such. He can be sent down to the minors without having to go through waivers, whereas like a Simmons or a Yarncrook or any other player might have to go through waivers. So I'm sure we'll see more of Bobby McMahon. But yeah, top 6, pretty good. Bottom 6, not really sure what's going on there. Probably need to address some things there. Defenseman, almost speechless on the defense because they've been playing such good overall team defense throughout the regular season that it's kind of blinding everybody to the fact that there's still massive holes in the defense, and once the playoffs comes around, those holes are going to get exposed and exposed quickly. So, hot take, I wouldn't mind if they traded Riley if it got us a superstar defenseman back, like Erik Karlsson or something, salary retained, 1-for-1, Riley for Karlsson, something crazy like that, It's not going to happen. Riley's going to stick around, but you just look at the money that's being spent on Morgan Riley right now, and with 1 goal for the entire season, eek, that money could go somewhere else, superstar defenseman. I also wouldn't mind if they traded Rasmus Sandin. They've tried him on the power play. They really want him to be the next guy, but he's just not yet, and I don't think he's going to be for a few years. Sandin, 3-4 years from now, I think he'll be a very skilled, very, very good defenseman. He's just not it right now, and the Leafs need someone now. So if they're going to trade anyone from the back end, I think it could be Sandin. And Giordano and Hall, they've been all right. Hall, if they trade him for a big name, I won't be sad either. Gio's been really good. Brody has been one of the most solid defensemen we have when he's in the lineup. He's been injured quite a bit this year. And then you got Liljegren, who is basically the next Brody, it seems like, coming up. He's been really solid. There's no way he's getting traded. But they got to do something with the defense. Speaking of defense, no clue what to even think of this, but apparently there's some social media thing going on where Chychrun took the Coyotes off of his social media accounts and then started following some of the Leafs players. So who knows what's going to go on there. Maybe there's a big Chychrun trade in the works and it just hasn't been announced yet. I have no idea. Not speculating or anything. Just it's out there. But Chychrun would be a nice addition, but he's still the same types of players that we're saying are here and just not performing, up to snuff basically. So if Chychrun can come in and quarterback the first power play unit and be comfortable there, I'm okay with that, but we still need a Muzzin type player, and it actually was announced today that he may have played his last game for the Toronto Maple Leafs and in the National Hockey League. Condolences to Muzzin for sure. I hope he can stay as healthy as possible and play more hockey games in the future if that's what he wants and is able to do. But it doesn't look like he'll be back this year. If he gets activated off LTIR for the playoffs, I only want him playing if it's okay to do so and he's not, risking his life essentially out there to play some games. So as much as it'd be nice to get him back for the playoffs, that would be an amazing, amazing thing to get back for the playoffs. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think the time with Muzzin is officially done, but closer to the trade deadline and closer to the start of the playoffs, I think we'll know a little bit more on that. And that brings us to the goaltending. And let's just all collectively put our hands in our face and pretend that everything's okay, because Samsonov is doing what he can. Let's put it that way. Like, he's not he's not a full-on starter and a full-on playoff starter, and he's I don't know if he can get us through a round. I really don't. And I also don't know if Murray can either. Murray is a gigantic question mark right now in net. He was supposed to play that game before, I think it was before the Boston game in Ottawa. No, it was Ottawa, then Washington, then Boston. He was supposed to play that game in Ottawa and literally takes the ice for practice, and then after practice says, no, I can't go. Samsonov's in, puts him in a really awkward spot. That was, I think, Samsonov's 5th game in a row. And then he played Washington, his old team, 6th game in a row, performed really well. They won that game, and then he had to go for a 7th game in a row against Boston and just couldn't keep up to Ullmark. And is he going to be able to keep up to Vasilevsky either? Probably not. So, gigantic question marks in net right now. Do you make a trade? Do you try and get Murray's money out of there? Even though Ottawa is paying half his salary right now, you could still trade him away and get something else. Like, UC Saros from Nashville is an intriguing, very intriguing name. I don't know if Nashville's quite going to make the playoffs. If they could pick Saros up, I don't think this will ever happen, but man, if they could, Nashville's 2 spots out of a wild card right now. If they could pick up a UC Saros and give them one quite used Matt Murray in exchange, that would be a world of difference in net, and you'd have so much confidence as Saros as your starter, Samsonov as your backup. Oh, if Chychrun ends up coming in, like, honestly, I don't even know if you need to address up front. If you can shore up the back end and you can get a UC Saros in net, that'd be amazing. All a pipe dream, I'm sure. I highly doubt they're going to make any kind of move in net. I think that's where they're going to be stubborn and just stick with the plan, and Murray and Samsonov was the plan, and we're going to stick to the plan there, except when we don't stick to the plan, but who knows. Overall, again, the season's been amazing. Great team defense, great regular season results so far in the schedule, but there's definitely question marks. I don't think this team, constructed as it is going to get through the first round. I think we'll all be disappointed if we think they can when they don't. So hopefully Dubas can have some creative ideas here and get some new players coming into this lineup. And if you got to wait to the trade deadline to figure out money and whatnot, sure, but I would like to see some players come in a little sooner than the trade deadline to get familiar with your systems and whatnot. Timo Meier's been a name that's out there from San Jose, but he's got a massive qualifying offer for the next season, so he's not sure if they're going to go that route. We'll see what Kyle Dubas can do. He makes good trades, but he kind of disappoints at the trade deadline. Like, nothing really happened at the trade deadline. Nick Foligno was not enough to try and win last time. But anyhow, overall, amazing season for the Leafs so far. Just got to slug through the next 30 games and got to get to the trade deadline with some positive news, not negative. And here, no news would be negative news. If we hear no trades, that's not good. That means the team is basically throwing away the first round again. But hopefully they make some big splashes real soon, around the trade deadline, whenever it may be. Right now, Leafs are doing really good. Hopefully they can keep it up. Have fun watching the rest of the season, everybody. Go Leafs, go!